So when you said open field about using screening and breaking it up, it almost sounds like that's something you could also use for a large food plot too, to kind of break it into little sections as well. And I think we touched on that in the large plot episode, but I guess we can go back into that real quickly on that too. So, um, if you're going to look at that, then let me ask you. So I guess it really, first off, it's probably subjective based upon the size of plot that you're working with.
Correct. Yep.
But let's say you're working with a 1 to 2 acre larger plot, like
Okay.
I guess if you, your average, how often, how small would you break each one of those sections into?
Less than a half. I do about half acre.
About half acre per
Hmm.
section.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only reason I say that is then you can create smaller areas. So based in this would be as a hunter too. If you create those smaller areas or different little pockets, say you divided a 2 acre field, um, basically in half and then in a quarter. You
Mhm.
basically break it into a quarter. And what that'll do for you then is you can set up different stand locations. And based on your wind, then you can set up on whatever the better wind and better little area is better for you.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I think we
yep.
touched on that before in the bigger plot, but that's what I'm seeing. So obviously, I don't want people to get the idea. Oh, if I got a 5 acre plot, I just quarter it out and it'll do the
Yeah.
same thing. It's subjective on it's going to change depending upon the size of the plot that
Correct.
you're
You can
working
make them
at.
smaller. I mean, you could divide it into it eights. I mean, eight different sections. It's all based upon what you're trying to do and what the deer feel most comfortable with. Some deer like coming out in more open areas. Some deer like coming out where it could be a 15-yard wide swath. It's a simple trail essentially. So
Right.
it's
That's what
it's
I
trial
was going.
it's trial and error is all I gotta say. It's hard to say this works perfect on this property yet. I go over somewhere else or I see somebody else doing something different and they're like, well, what he's doing, it doesn't work. So it won't work at all for anything. So it's all comes down to trial and error and how you think it should go. So
Well, that sounds familiar. Heard
yeah.
that. Oh, that doesn't work here. That doesn't work for me. And like, you
Hmm.
know what? You're probably right in some of the things you're saying, but that's why it's kind of trial and error. Like as you said, like you got to find out what works best for you.
Correct.
Um, and work with it. It's not an overnight fix. Like I can't tell you that this is 100% going the way we do it is going to 100% work for you, but you'll
Hmm.
find that little way that it is going to work for you. You touched on another thing I wanted to touch on is how wide of an area or how wide of a swath are we looking at doing for screening?
So this could be suggested or um different for everybody too. Um, so like field edges. Any I'm gonna just take a swing at this, but 9 times out of 10, most deer come out of the very corners where the two corners meet of a field. Most of the time. So in that, then you could do a half moon shape, essentially. Basically, you create that little small pocket where they're gonna kind of sneak out of, and then utilize your screening to go kind of round the screening, essentially to go out to the bigger field. You could cut maybe you do a 20-yard wide swath from one end of the field to the other, a straight line straight across this field if you're allowed to do that, and then do your plot or whatever's in between your screening in the woods. Basically, that 20-yard swath means, anything that comes in there, it's already ranged to 20 yards. So, when they walk along the edge of the screen, you've already got that laid out, saying that if they walk along this, they're at 25 or 20 yards or 25 yards, whatever the distance is. So, it's kind of working in that way. And you're just breaking that field down to make it more of a secured feeling for all the deer before, yeah, so you have a better chance of having that buck go, "Hey, I can't see," you know, obviously he can't see more than 20 yards out just based on the terrain or whatever. I need to get out into the plot, the one that's you're basically hunting before I can sneak out to go to the next. Yep.